Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about all the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsey Weber.
And this is episode 21.
Woohoo! Now that we do 2 episodes a week, or you think it's 2 episodes a week, it's just we talk a long time and I split it into 2. It feels like we're just constantly around.
You mean to our audience? It feels to them?
It feels to me too. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, 2 times in 1 week.
We are constantly emailing and texting each other about who's, so in a way.
Right. Imagine if the public had access to like all of those documents as well. Like anytime we mentioned a Who, it was also part of the podcast. It would just be like 24 hours of garbage.
It's like those shirts. Who's are life, the rest is just details. We should make those and sell them.
Wait, what shirt?
Remember those shirts?
Where are these shirts?
They were like big when I was
Keep calm
in middle school.
and Who or whatever.
They were really big when I was in middle school, and they would be like fill in the blank sport or activity is life, and then at the bottom it would say the rest is just details. I had one that said basketball is life, the rest is just details because I wanted to fit in.
Because you love basketball. You love basketball. No, I remember those shirts. They were like N+1 or something. It was like a big dog brand. It was very
yes,
yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Totally.
But we have to get started because we have a lot of garbage to talk about.
Let's go.
Okay.
You or Drayla?
Yo, they want to know.
Hey.
Neil.
Hey.
Neil.
Come on.
Hey. I want to be famous.
Hey, Lindsey.
Hi.
I don't want to ask you this question, but since this is how the show works, I have to. Who is Noah Galvin?
I
Don't
didn't
dare answer this question.
I didn't. Well, first of all, I didn't know this answer until this very week. So
no one did.
So take it away.
No one did.
I'll let you handle this one.
The reason we had so many questions about this was because it hit suddenly and it hit hard. There were these.
We got like 5 phone calls. I just want to shout out all the people who like heard this news, literally got up from their computers, grabbed their phone, and called us immediately, like it was this 911 emergency situation. Love you.
They were these very incendiary comments said by this guy in an interview on Vulture that was published on Thursday. They started like trickling out of like gay Twitter until suddenly every actual media outlet was talking about Noah Galvin as though they knew who Noah Galvin was.
I mean, there's
10 minutes
there's
ago.
gay Twitter, but there's also TV Twitter, and this kid is up for Emmys. I mean, why don't you explain who he is? Like, go from the beginning.
So Noah Galvin is the star of the very well-received new ABC series, The Real O'Neills, and he plays the lead kid in it because it's
Do
a
you
family.
watch
It's like
this show?
No, I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
And I've heard nothing. Honestly, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
My friends who watch it really, really like it.
It's the Dan Savage show that was developed
Yes.
like by Dan Savage, and I believe he is still involved with it in some sort of producer.
He's
like,
in it.
function.
I actually don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's in a producer.
Yes.
Role.
No, I think so.
And also, he's in a weird sort of like mentory role to Noah. So part of the thing in the interview, he praises Dan Savage on being so smart and so good for the community, blah, 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 blah. And the reason Noah was interviewed was because he has Emmy buzz. He is this young, out 22-year-old gay actor. This is basically his first role. And
he was like he was the theater kid before this. He was very like,
theater kid, but like not
he did
a
musicals and Broadway.
successful
and
actor.
No. But not even a huge theater kid. Just kind of,
he was
did
just
theater.
into theater.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with someone yesterday, and it is sort of interesting that it's hard to figure out if since this is his first big interview, it's hard to figure out if he wanted to start shit or if he didn't know that interviews or specifically Q&A interviews like this would just be published in their entirety.
Well, full disclosure, I worked for Vulture, so I know what happens. I know how the sausage is made. And this writer, the guy who interviewed him is named Alex. He's a wonderful writer and has interviewed like RuPaul and like kind of done all these like longer Q&As. And honestly, I think what the issue is sometimes a mixture of what you're saying, that he maybe wasn't as comfortable and media trained or whatever, but also they did it in person. As you can tell, because he walks up to him and he's smoking, which is
right.
Most of the Vulture Q&As are via phone because that's just the easiest way to get it done. But this was in person. So I think a mixture of having somebody in person, maybe they had a drink or, you know, not even like he was drunk, but in terms of just loosening up and really getting to know someone. And also, you know, Alex, the guy who interviewed him, is gay. And maybe he just, you know, was like, oh, camaraderie, like I'm going to just like go in. And there could be so many reasons why. I mean, clearly he fucked up in a lot of this.
There was a really funny tweet about it that sums up. I don't remember who tweeted it, but it was basically saying, I really respected your interview, and I hope that your publicist has like a full bottle of Xanax because it's going to be a nightmare. And it was very.
The controversy kind of is nice. I mean, it opens up like communication between two sides of like a big issue. Like I feel like in like gay conversation, right? Like he kind of like opened the door to like the floodgates of a conversation that was already happening, you know?
Let's start with the garbage. The less culturally relevant thing that Noah said that got people pissed off were his remarks about Colton Haynes, who is a known who. We've spoken about him in the past.
Right.
Colton Haynes is the guy who sort of came out, who has never really been in the closet. He's been out since high school. He's 27.
As far as he is concerned, he came out.
Yes, as far as he was concerned, he came out in January, but then he came out officially in Entertainment Weekly in a profile a month ago. And I was annoyed because I was like, he already came out. Why is he coming out twice?
Wow.
So Noah took my complaints and multiplied them by 3,000. And he called Colton Haynes a pussy. And he called him the worst. He said it was the way that he came out was in this very like, well, I'm already out. He called that fucking pussy bullshit because he didn't respect the way that he did it. Also, keep in mind, Noah's 5 years younger. Noah is a 22-year-old.
It wasn't a very flattering, like I respect him for speaking his mind as I respect anyone for speaking their mind or whatever and being real about situations. But it wasn't a very flattering way to do it for himself. Like I actually know the way that transcripts are cut down, I don't think that anyone is trying to unflatter you. They are trying to get the most interesting things you say to come to light. And they are trying to get you to sound coherent, which is hard when you do a phone interview or an in-person interview to have the person sound coherent in their speaking. As you can hear us talking, we are totally incoherent. So I really don't think that it was cut that way. I
don't think so either.
When it's bad, it's bad, man. When you know it, when you read the transcript and you're like, oh man, like this is going to be controversial.
And so after he said this, Colton Haynes immediately got on his what celebrities love to do. They open up the Notes app.
Celebrities
and they
love
type out
a
a note.
Notes app screenshot.
And they screenshot it. Did you notice that there was a really great when Demi Lovato announced her split from Wilmer Valderrama? She wrote it in a note and she screenshotted the note. Did you notice what the note was filed under?
No.
It was filed under poems. Like the breadcrumbs on the top left where it's like, go back to the original thing. The folder she had filed it under was poems. Anyway.
Only you would notice that.
So that's so far beyond the
point. So do you think
this
is filed under, gay clapback?
Colton Haynes immediately releases this thing, and he writes, in part, "It's extremely ironic that only a month ago I was tweeting this kid and saying that he should win an Emmy for his work. Then today he returns the favor by calling me a pussy and the worst of the entire world. Let me just clarify, I have never met this kid, so for him to judge me without even meeting and having no idea for the struggles I've been through or where I come from is absolutely uncalled for and quite frankly embarrassing on his part." Then he's like, well, I came out in Entertainment Weekly. Fuck off. Don't judge me. Don't disrespect me. And then he signs it Colton Pussy Haynes, which is pretty funny. And signing it Colton Pussy Haynes put me on Team Colton Haynes. As you know, I'm very wishy-washy when it comes to like which celebrities team I'm on.
Yeah.
And so for what time is it? 11:50 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. I will be on Colton Haynes' team, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So this is what happened. So, but that's one thing. Noah apologizes for it. He releases a public apology to Colton, but that's not the only person he apologized to.
Oh, he slammed so many more people. We're not even at the...
He slammed, but the two I want to talk about are Colton and Yikes Bryan Singer, the director of the X-Men.
Because I think in one he's wrong, but in one he's right. So it's very interesting. In this one interview, he said a lot of things that were not very smart. But then he said kind of like one thing that like everyone knows and should be out there.
Right. So, which everyone knows, allegedly. I think we still have to dance
Okay,
around
sorry,
this
don't
because,
sue us.
because this man is very litigious.
Okay.
There are a lot of
well,
rumors
he
that
definitely
Bryan
listens to this
Singer.
podcast.
There are a lot of rumors that Bryan Singer, an out gay, very successful director in Hollywood, is rumored to be known to have sex with underage boys.
This has been around forever. This is a common conversation, a common through line in Hollywood. If you
People
watch
gossip
movies,
about it.
yeah, and he
People
is a
gossip
huge
about it.
director. He is not only like a huge director in the past, but he has a lineup that is insane, right? Like a future lineup. I mean, he is continually successful, so it's not just like this old issue.
Yes, and what Noah said specifically was, so he laughs whenever Bryan Singer is mentioned, and he says, yeah, Bryan Singer likes to invite little boys over to his pool and diddle them in the fucking dark of night. I want nothing to do with that. I think there are enough boys in LA that are questionably homosexual who are willing to do things with the right person who can get them in the door. In New York, there was a healthy gay community, and that doesn't exist in LA. Oh, that was another thing. So he pissed off a lot of LA people for
He pissed off the entirety
continuing this
of
like
gay
LA New York dichotomy where you could only like one. LA sucks. New York is good.
He should probably move to New York after this moment.
Yeah. So he apologized to Bryan Singer also on Twitter and called what he said false and unwarranted. It was irresponsible of me to make these allegations against Bryan.
God.
So
His
the whole
lawyer
thing
called
has
him.
this. The whole thing has this tone of a publicist with a gun to Noah Galvin's head saying, "Write down exactly what I'm telling you, because if you don't, we're gonna get sued into oblivion and you'll never work again." Because Bryan Singer is that powerful. That's the sort of upsetting thing about what he said, knowing that this is why interviews tend to not be interesting, because people are afraid of talking about anything actually serious, because the moment they do, they get yelled at and then they have to backpedal it.
And not only do the celebrities have to backpedal, Vulture, which I was a little bit more like about, took down the statement. So not only is Noah Galvin afraid of being sued, but Vulture is ultimately afraid of being sued for publishing it in the time of Gawker getting sued into bankruptcy, etc. It just becomes like very questionable, and they put up an editor's note that was like, this article contained a reference to Bryan Singer, blah blah blah.
We decided.
But it's interesting because then you have, sorry, but like when you would paste the Vulture link into a share option, the deck would be the quote from that quote.
Bryan,
so it's like if you're gonna say that as the most important quote of the piece and put it as a pull quote, which I know how that works, that's what you do, or you're gonna tweet it and take a screenshot and pin it as the author, pin it to your Twitter, which I don't blame you. That is the most important part of the piece. And then you're going to delete it from the article. Just know that those pieces are still out there, because sorry, like you can't just like scrape something from the internet or whatever. And, clearly people knew what he had said, essentially.
This isn't some career or anything. He will certainly never work with Bryan Singer.
God forbid.
I'm sure that there will be some sort of, he and Colton Haynes will Instagram each other at drinks at the Abbey or something in 3 weeks. Like, we're friends now, LOL, and it'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this stuff blows over, and no one remembers things. But what people are going to remember is the Bryan Singer stuff. Eventually,
which
when
they
something
should
does
remember.
happen, and he does get in trouble, which I truly believe he will. So Bobby.
Lindsey.
Who is Christina Grimmie?
She is, honestly, I knew her name, and I knew that she was on The Voice, and that's it. She was a Voice contestant.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know any of her music.
You didn't watch her on The Voice. Yeah, I mean, I did watch her Voice season. She was very talented. The reason why I paid attention to her / like dove into her a little bit is that she's a YouTube star. She's a YouTube person. She went under the name like Zelda Love 64, which is a Nintendo 64 reference, obviously. And she did like very famous covers. And whenever The Voice has people on who are somewhat famous outside The Voice, they make a huge deal because kind of part of The Voice is like, as opposed to other singing competition shows, they like having people who have done other things, like Curly Sue winning this year, and they like bringing.
They like having people with a pre-existing fan base.
Like they had the Cupid Shuffle guy on a few times. Like they're very into kind of like, a comeback story. So not that this girl had a comeback story, she had a come up story. She had all these covers on her YouTube profile or whatever. But point being,
and she played the piano too. Her videos are actually pretty interesting.
No, she's good. She's a very specific YouTube singer songwriter person, not like a fine person where it's 6 seconds that annoys us. Like a very, she do full length covers and mashups, and people loved her. And she came in third place, I believe. Yep, third place. She was like on Team Adam, and I think one of them signed her. And she had an album. And then the reason why we're talking about her is this is so awful. Is that 2 nights ago, Friday night, yeah. Friday night, a crazy fan basically followed her went to her concert, came to her meet and greet, and shot her, and then shot himself, and she died from injuries. You
have this timeline leading up to her death that are like permanently preserved online.
Mm-hmm. Just like this whole essentially awful thing that now is going to be dissected in the way where it's like, was it because she was a famous YouTube star? I mean, she really like probably had very dedicated fans that go all the way back to when she was putting these videos up, I mean, anyways, we should move on now.
Yeah, I think we're done with all the really sad stuff.
Oh, well, the next one is kind of sad, actually. I mean, it's like funny, but it's sad.
It's mostly funny.
It's a little sad when you read the quote. Okay, anyways. So, Bobby,
Lindsey
who is Kate Mulgrew?
I know who Kate Mulgrew is, but I did not know this about her until this week. Kate Mulgrew is the actress. I think she became famous for being in that Star Trek spinoff the name I forget.
Yes.
Voyager.
Yes.
And then she's probably best known now for being Red in Orange is the New Black.
Yes. She has like a very, very long career. She one of those like actresses that has just always worked, and maybe you knew her name or maybe you would know what she looked like, but never had a breakout role. Like she was on soaps and all these, and people definitely know who she was, but Orange is the New Black was like her breakout role, which is interesting because she's older, clearly. And she plays Red, like the kind of one of the big stars. Anyways, she came out with a memoir this week, and her story is like very crazy and scary, but the point being the Us Weekly headline is just like too much, like because I don't think they understood what to like do with it.
Instead of doing nothing, they did this.
Right. So hold on, I have
the headline open.
No, but so the Us Weekly headline is Kate Mulgrew, Orange is the New Black star, was born with full set of teeth, kept in cage, which is not inaccurate. A lot of the headlines were just born with teeth, born with full teeth, born with a lot of teeth. And the thing is that she has this new memoir, and I think the memoir is called Born with Teeth.
The memoir is called Born with Teeth, yeah.
Which is great, which proves she knows what is going to be the pull quote of this whole life, like this whole thing.
You can't accuse anyone like of digging through the memoir and trying to get the most embarrassing thing. No, because that's the name of the memoir.
Right. It's very clear what is happening here. Anyways, so the story is that she was born with a full set of teeth, which is a condition which does happen to children sometimes. It's a very rare condition. And I guess when you're born with full set of teeth, you can accidentally swallow your own teeth because it's whatever. And it's dangerous because you're too young. And she also was born with an inability to feel pain. That's what she says, inability to feel pain when she was a baby. So her parents put her in a cage so she wouldn't like hurt herself. And the quote is just wild. It's just, she says, "They put me in a cage because I had no sense of pain until I was 4 years old," she said. "So I was born with teeth and had no sense of pain." Us Weekly, do you edit? Shakespeare would have a field day. It's a witch. That's what a witch is. You know what?
A witch is.
It is. That is what a witch is. Born with teeth, put in a cage, no pain.
Unless you were born with teeth, I don't want to read your memoir.
Like right. This is setting the standard for what I want in a memoir, which is born with a full set of teeth, put in a cage.
Now that you wrote your biography, your autobiography,
a memoir,
Born with Teeth. And you were?
I was born with teeth.
You were born with teeth?
Yes, I was born with a set of perfect little teeth.
I've never heard of that in my
They're
life.
actually they're pearlescent, they're blue. And they're very dangerous because the baby can swallow them.
Goodness me, I had no idea that
So
that
she
could-
had the guy come and take my teeth out, and then they built me a little cage because I had no sense of pain until I was 4 years old.
Really?
So I was born with teeth and I had no sense of pain.
Anyways, next on the list is something that I will just skim right through because I want to address it because I want to like speak directly to our fans and the requests that they have, but I also never want to talk about it. Point being, quite a few people tweeted us this week asking, and I understand you guys love the show, I love it too right now, who the musical guests are on The Bachelorette. And this is always a big issue because The Bachelor and The Bachelorette always have artists that range literally from like very high A-list to extremely low C-list. For some reason, like there's no consistency in the musical artists. Like it could be like, not that Seal is A-list, but it was like Kiss from a Rose, which was a huge #1 song. One year it was Christopher Moreau's. Now it's like these guys we've never heard of or whatever from the country sphere, which is not saying that they're not very popular, but like very much who's to a like somewhat some of the ABC audience. Point being,
An unpredictable range, yeah.
and I do love that every time, this is one of my favorite cliches about The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, whenever they walk in on one of these situations where somebody's on stage singing, I don't know if you recognize this, Bobby, they'll be like, blah, 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 I love them. Like, blue, 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 I love their hit song, blah, blah, blue. And it's like, you were fed that line so hard, the producers were like, hey, can you just say that you were surprised to see blah, blah, and you love their song, blah, blah. You know?
Just say that you've always been a really big fan of Shea Mooney since the very beginning.
So this week on
I've
The
been a fan of
Bachelorette-
Shea Mooney since the very beginning.
Literally like that is. So this week on The Bachelorette, you have them walk in. I don't even know who them is because it was like JoJo and one of the guys, and then JoJo and another guy. They walk in on first Charles Kelly, who was singing his new single, "The Only One Who Gets Me." Charles Kelly is from Lady Antebellum. You know that band, kind of?
I know the name of the band, and I also know Lady Antebellum. To be fair, is very popular.
Very
and
popular.
Very
These are
successful.
huge bands. I mean, Bobby likes country, like old school country. I'm a little bit a fan of new school country. Between us, we literally don't know anything, but I feel like what we do know is we have respect for country. I'm not one to shit on like, who is this country person I've never heard of, because I know that we live in a bubble and country music is extremely popular.
Yeah.
Point being, Charles Kelly of Lady Antebellum was the first one, and the second one was Dan and Shay, who I actually do like. Dan and Shay, I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like a country duo that do country music. It's very popular. Point being, they also sang a song called From the Ground Up. And now I feel like I'm Shazam, because like essentially I just told you who they were and what they sang. And if you like any of their songs, support them on iTunes.
Really, real quick, what Bachelorette really needed this season was for JoJo to perform. Other JoJo.
Oh, that, honestly,
That would have been great.
that would have been peak smart Bachelorette.
It would have been so smart. I bet they didn't even reach out to her.
She has great love songs. She's putting out music.
JoJo is a who, by the way, which means we were allowed to talk about her.
Both
JoJo
are,
just
both.
got the job as the opener for Fifth Harmony's tour, which is like a very hooey girl band because you can't name anyone in it.
I kind of like, at first, part of me wants to be like, ugh, but then part of me is like, go JoJo. That's a huge band right now. They have like
It's
a number
huge.
one. Yeah.
It's huge. Anyway,
Speaking of country music and who's, the CMAs were this week. Did you get a chance to watch them?
I only watched the Cam performance.
Right. So speaking of Fifth Harmony,
I love
Fifth,
Cam.
Fifth Harmony. Bobby like loves Cam. Now I don't know if anyone has noticed or if we've talked about it yet, but remember when we like slammed Cam? We were like, "Who the fuck is this woman? How dare she?" Like we were very mean to Cam.
What kind of name is Cam?
Bobby listened to Cam Country. Welcome to Cam County, right? Country.
Well, Cam, it's not, number one, it's not Cam County. It's Cam Country.
I don't know where the fuck she lives. Maybe it's Cam County.
I mean, it could be Cam County inside Cam Country, but all she's letting us know is that it's Cam Country.
Where are you from? I'm from Cam County in Cam, USA. Cam Country.
There are a lot of great new female country artists this year.
I know, like Marin.
Really love. Marin.
Marin Morris. Point being, I already told you that Bobby and I do like country music or have a weakness for country music. If you want to feel like it's that way. And after we slammed Cam, Bobby listened to Cam and loved it. And point being, this week on CMAs, Cam did a duet with our other favorite Who's, Fifth Harmony, major crossover, and they sang Work From Home and the other one, what's the song she has that you love? Mayday, and they fucking mashed them up at the end, which made no sense contextually in the songs, but sounded beautiful.
Sounded beautiful. Just like Cam. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful
we're moving on from
artist.
Cam. Bobby, like you standing for Cam is like the worst thing that's happened to this podcast.
I don't think so. You love Cam too.
I don't hate Cam, but like I am not a Cam stan. Okay.
Someone did point out that you can't spell CMAs without Cam.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Lion Babe?
Nope.
Neither have I. And she is the spokesperson for Pantene, and it's like this big, she's like getting a lot of press. She does have beautiful hair.
Yeah.
She's beautiful hair, but I had no idea who she was, and it's weird to be like Lion Babe. I thought it was just her, like, oh, it's this girl named Lion Babe, which is fine. But it turns out that Lion Babe is the name of the band, and it is her and another guy, and they have songs. Mm-hmm. And they
I have not. I was about to listen to their music, and then I thought, I'm fine.
I also pressed play on the song and was like, no, never heard it. I don't know what it is. But point being, if you hear of Lion Babe, which seems like they're kind of on the come up, they are this girl named Jillian Hervey, who's Pantene Pro V face now. Hair. Not, you can't really be the face of Pantene. You have to be the hair of Pantene. Right?
Well, you have to be the face of it so that they know who the hair belongs to.
Okay, true. Or maybe your hair stands on its own and it's really beautiful. And no one knows who you are. Lion Babe, Jill Hervey.
You're missing the most important thing about Lion Babe.
Go.
Do you know who Jillian Hervey's mom is?
No.
Vanessa Williams.
Oh my god. Well,
that's why she's famous.
That's literally burying the lead right there. I buried the lead. I literally copied in all this garbage about them and didn't even get the main point.
Jillian Hervey's mom is Vanessa Williams, who is former
great.
Miss America / actress / save the best for last, which is what I just did.
All right, so now we have it. If you don't know who Vanessa Williams is, you're a crazy person.
Yeah, you're an idiot. Stop listening to this.
She has an amazing history full of scandal and music and song and performance. Anyways, that's great news. I'm so glad that Vanessa Williams' offspring is Lion Babe.
Okay, move on. And I just want to read to our audience what Lindsey wrote before this bullet. And it just says, I want to rant about lip sync battle.
Okay. Here we go.
I want to rant about lip sync battle every day of the week, but you go for it.
Here we go. I just want to talk about lip sync battle and how much I hate it. And I feel like I was on the fence between it being redeeming and having funny moments and just being awful. But the awful point of it really tipped for me this week. You saw the full? Did you see the full performances?
We said it to each other at maybe the same 5 seconds.
Did you see the full performance though yet?
Oh, I didn't know the full performance was out. I don't know if I could do it. Awful.
The teaser was probably the worst thing I've seen. But the thing is, I don't even think it's the worst thing I've seen on Lip Sync Battle, because literally that full show is full of garbage. I think
it was easily the worst thing I've seen on Lip Sync Battle.
Here's my point though. It started off as a bit on Jimmy Fallon, and the bit was, let's get just celebrities to do wacky stuff. That's always their point. It's like, let's get celebrities to do stuff they, one, will agree to do, and two, is wacky. Right. Mixed in popular music.
And harmless.
So they're lip syncing, but they're like lip syncing to songs in their full, just whatever they were wearing, no props, no nothing.
Yeah.
Off the cuff with Jimmy Fallon laughing in the back. Very simple. They turn this into a show. And it just goes off the rails. It loses any charmingness it ever had. They give them costumes. They have special guests. All of
budgets,
it is like
backup dancers.
Pyrotechnics. It is so wild that this show is so popular. It is one of the most popular shows on TV. But is
it? That might be a stretch.
No, it's a huge show. Might be a stretch. It's a huge show. It's a huge show.
Okay.
And they just have some of the worst shit happening on television on that show.
You haven't even explained what this one was.
So this week, the one that really sent me off the deep end in terms of hating the show and wanting it to burn to the ground is... And to be fair, I love Chrissy Teigen, so she's not a part of this. I think she's doing her best, but
Because Chrissy Teigen is a co-host, so she's on every episode. She's immune from this.
She like
so is LL Cool J.
Also, like she's trying, not like she's trying and failing. Like she's trying and like doing what she's doing a good job. She's like hype woman essentially, and she's fun and she knows the songs and has fun. And props to her. Whatever. I want to like give her own talk show. And like I love her and I want her to like do something more that involves more of herself than
She
this.
will. This is a stepping stone.
So this week on Lip Sync Battle, the lineup, the matchup was Zachary Quinto and Zoe Saldana. Okay, and
who, if you might remember, are co-stars in the Star Trek movies.
Yeah, they try and make
promoting
it like
the new
thematic.
one, Beyond.
Right. So you have Zachary Quinto doing Freedom 90 by George Michael why is her name like floated out of my head? Superstar, number one model.
Who?
The number one supermodel.
Cindy Crawford?
Wow, yeah. Cindy Crawford, I forgot her name. Cindy Crawford coming
Superstar,
out.
number one model.
So Cindy Crawford comes out because the whole point of Lip Sync Battle is getting other people to come, which I don't understand because like you're already there and like it's not like
That's what I don't get either.
Like I don't understand. It's like whatever. So he gets Cindy Crawford to come out. They like do a dance, whatever. That's fine. The other performance that he did, I'm so offended by. I want to scream. He does Missy Elliott's "Get Your Freak On," but and instead of choosing like the outfit that's like the most memorable outfit, which is the trash bag outfit.
Chrissy was in that.
Chrissy was, but like
I bet Chrissy called it. That's what I bet happened.
Chrissy
Chrissy's
was like, I'm not
gonna wear
wearing
the
that
trash
other
bag.
shit.
You can't wear the
Yeah.
trash bag. But also the trash bag is from a different video.
I don't care. Go off. Who instead he accepted this outfit that made him look like you know that John Early character from his stand up that's like into jeans and has like he looked like that. Like he looked
I don't know that, but I can picture that.
It was Bobby, it was crazy. It was crazy.
So like I don't want to start any gossip, okay? But Zachary Quinto.
Who?
Yeah, he's like a little actor. He's been in a couple movies. And I don't want to say he was talking trash, but he was talking like a lot of trash.
Then he better bring it.
So I'm so excited for this week. We're doing a game, but we have a very special guest. I want to introduce Caroline Goldfarb of the You Had Me Like, This Week Had Me Like podcast.
Stop. You were so great on it this week, Lindsey. Everyone go listen to it.
I had such a good time on this on Caroline's podcast. She is also, if you're not aware of her podcast yet, which you should be, because we're clearly sister podcasts or whatever. You should know that she is also official Sean Penn on Instagram. So you've probably
Which you've got to follow. You probably already follow it.
Yeah, you've probably like lulled at her stuff.
Smash that follow button as soon as you possibly can.
So yeah, let's play this game. I feel like we got to get started. This is one of our classic Who Weekly games. It is called I Don't Know Her. And basically what the object of the game is that we will give each other and yourself, Caroline, both a who and a them, and you will have to convince us whether the them knows who the who is or whether they do not know who the who is.
Yes.
Okay.
It is kind of a journey. So we'll do ours to start, and then we'll do yours, and let's see how you stack up against the competition, which is
I'll try.
There's no competition.
Yeah. So, Lindsay.
Okay. Yeah.
Does Glenn Close?
Oh, God, you're so loud, Bobby. I can't.
God, well, I don't know. Does Glenn Close know who Cardi B is?
I love that.
Okay. So immediately my brain says no, but my heart says try and figure it out. So Glenn Close, Cardi B. So Cardi B is a primarily Instagram famous person. Also, unless you watched Hip Hop, Love and Hip Hop, New York, also you would know who she was. So the question is, does Glenn Close come into contact with any of those things? This is really hard because I also don't really know what Glenn Close has done recently.
Right, or what Glenn Close... It's really hard to imagine what Glenn Close is doing on any day. Like, what is Glenn Close doing right now at home?
Right, like, conceptually, it's like, what does she even do in her free time?
She like does cupping all
What
day.
do you think?
Yeah. Like
What does your gut say?
She's like doing crosswords. I don't know. My gut says no, honestly.
Gut says no.
Like, I don't know. Glenn Close, she does feel like the kind of woman who would like kick back with a beer and watch like shameless VH1 television. But if you were to like just watch random shameless television, I think Glenn Close would go for like a Bravo moment.
Yeah, I could see that. Like the Real Housewives.
HGTV.
Oh, she like loves House Hunters International.
Of course. Like she would.
I bet she hates, and I bet she watches the Property Brothers.
So she's just like us, celebs just like us. So yeah, I really honestly, I can't even think of a maybe connection between them. That's such a good one. What a stumper. I just don't, I like don't think that she knows who Cardi B is.
That's a good response. I accept it.
Okay.
Good one.
So yeah, so Bobby here, I hope yours is, I mean, that wasn't very creative. I feel like usually it's more of a journey, but I have nothing. Okay. Bobby, does Morgan Freeman
Oh my God.
know who Cameron Dallas is?
I hate this. Oh my God. So wait, I confuse all of them. Cameron Dallas is the Vine one, right?
Yes.
Who's like a model now.
Yes.
I have a feeling Morgan Freeman is one of those angry old men who's like, I don't like the internet and I don't like social media and I don't want to know anything about it. So I think he would never organically learn about like Cameron on the internet. I feel very confident in saying that Morgan Freeman has no clue who Cameron Dallas is.
Yes. Agreed.
How do you feel about that, Caroline? Do you agree?
Totally agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. I don't even think Morgan Freeman knows who's like a famous Vine star that everyone knows.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know.
I don't think there is a famous Vine star that everyone knows.
Like, has Morgan Freeman ever opened YouTube, let alone Vine?
You know what? Morgan Freeman definitely does not know what Vine is.
No. Wow.
Definitely not.
That's true.
Taking a further step back, you're totally right.
Fundamentally, he doesn't know what Vine is.
True.
Fundamentally, he's like way behind this. Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems like he's living a great life. I would love not to know what Vine is.
Yeah, when you put it like that, he's kind of killing it.
So there's a reason why he's the them and Cameron Dallas is a who. Caroline, we have one for you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I can't wait for you to take this journey. So here you go. Caroline. Does Michelle Obama know who Holly Madison is?
Oh, literally 100% she knows who she is.
Go on, prove your
gotta
case.
explain.
Bobby wrote this, prove your case.
Could not be more sure. First of all, I just have a hunch that Holly Madison is, I don't prove of this, but I feel like she's like an activist for like babies or kids, or is like really embracing that mom role in her who life. You know what I mean? And I feel like I would not be surprised if she's like somehow trying to get involved in like the Get Up and Move campaign, or she's sending signed copies of her amazing books to the White House. Like, she's actively trying to get in with Michelle Obama, and I know that she does. And I feel like some of her efforts maybe she sent like an edible arrangement to Michelle. I just feel like her efforts.
Oh man,
have
Michelle
not
would love an edible arrangement.
I mean, I know Holly Madison only has like little babies, and her kids are not like Sasha and Malia age, so they don't have like a lot to talk about. But I just like feel in my soul that Holly is like trying to get in with Michelle, and Michelle has noticed. And I also think that Michelle probably has watched a couple episodes of The Girl Next Door. Like, that was on way pre-Obama's presidency, and I just can imagine her like kicking back with some bugles in Chicago. I don't know, watching a couple episodes.
It was a big show.
It was a huge show. It was a cultural phenomenon.
And it's just like you were saying, like whenever she wanted to come home and just relax and watch something mindless after her time at the law firm or whatever.
Right.
What was she doing in Chicago?
She's like a lawyer. Yeah. Do you think that her kids, do you think Malia and Sasha like also are into this?
I don't think so. I think they're too young to watch Girls Next Door. And I think that
they know who Cameron Dallas is though.
They what? They know
who Cameron Dallas is.
Yeah, no doubt.
They must.
But I don't know why, but I just feel like they're concerned with cooler shit than like Holly Madison. You know what I mean? I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine like they care about Kendra. Maybe they know who Bridget Marquardt is, but
not even like Bridget Mark, not even she knows who she is. Like she is the most obscure one of the three.
I want to know what she's doing because she was always kind of my favorite.
Really? She was kind of the Khloe Kardashian of the Girls Next Door, wasn't she?
And that's really kind of you to say. I don't know. She was like, no, yeah, not even.
So
like
you're saying, that Michelle Obama knows who Holly Madison is.
Whether or not, my theory about Holly Madison sending like edible arrangements to the White House is one thing, but I can say with certainty that Michelle Obama has watched an episode of The Girls Next Door.
Wow. I think we solved so many mysteries today.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better about everything, honestly. I feel better just like knowing the truth about all these relationships.
I know. I mean, now that we've really like dug deep and revealed them, I feel like I'm so happy that you were here to help us do that.
Yeah, thanks for playing along.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to
will you tell us plug the podcast. Tell our listeners where to hear it.
All right. This Week Had Me Like, you can listen to it on SoundCloud and iTunes, pretty much the normal places. And it's my podcast in which I invite on 2 guests every week. One person's a fellow celebrity expert. The other has to be a plebe who doesn't know celebrity stuff. And we talk about bizarre celeb gossip. So it's not like, the normal stuff you'd read.
Nothing A-list, but like wacky B-list.
Wacky B-list. Like this week, we discussed with Lindsey, Hillary Duff hanging out with a possibly rabid raccoon, which she documented on social media. Ben Affleck wearing guy liner. We just discussed a lot of really.
It was a
weird
roller coaster. Also, the cool thing about This Week Had Me Like is that Caroline gets on actual Who's. Tell us about some of the amazing Who's you've had on the show.
True. We like to have our plebes be people that are actual actors that have maybe been on like CW-esque shows. We've had some amazing ones on. We had Ian Harding, who was on Pretty Little Liars and has billions of Twitter followers, so don't even worry about it.
My God.
This week with Lindsey, we had Max Eric, who's on Lindsey's literal favorite show, Under the Dome.
Oh my God! We talked about him in the show. I called him Max Ehrlich. That's how who he was to me. But I genuinely loved him and had a great time with him.
His name is spelled like you would think it's Ehrlich.
Strange,
honestly, though. Yeah, so that's our thing. We also have some thems kind of, but we've had Brittany Snow. We've just had a lot of fun people. Ooh. That's our vibe. Our dream guest is Mandy Moore. I dream of having Jesse McCartney on.
I think you're gonna hit that. I think you're gonna get there. Mandy Moore, she was definitely she'll go on your podcast. Cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this with us. This was super fun.
Hey, I'm Holly.
I'm originally from Alaska, and I live now at the Playboy Mansion. I'm Hef's #1 girlfriend. Hef and I have been dating for 3.5 years. I was intimidated by Hef when I first met him. He seemed really imposing and scary. After Hef's and my first date, I moved in 2 days later. I guess you could say we're made for each other.
Okay, so that was fun. Bobby, hey, what's Rita up to?
I don't know. Let's find out.
What was she wearing? Where was she seen? She posted what on Instagram? She's the Who Queen. Tens of people want to know all about the #1 Who. Lindsey, Bobby, tell us now. What's Rita Ora up to?
Who is this woman?
Wow. She's good. She was up to a lot this week.
Great stuff. Great news for our girl, Rita Ora. You know what happened to her?
What happened?
She finally is free from Rock Nation.
Rita!
Yes.
Rita!
And she signed with Warner Music.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for the new Rita music.
We're going to get new Rita music. We are going to get a second album from Rita Ora.
It's been a long time
She always told us she would never let us down, and she's not going to.
Speaking of never letting us down, we got a few very fair comments last week when we talked about Calvin Harris / Adam, what's his last name again?
Adam Wiles.
Adam Wiles in last week's Who's There episode. We literally did not mention Rita, which is crazy because clearly both of us know that they dated.
Such a big deal.
It was a huge deal. He wrote "I'll Never Let You Down" with her, but really, like, he wrote it for her, technically.
And honestly, I haven't done research to prepare this, but they had a huge falling out, right?
Yes.
That's what I remember.
Oh, are you kidding?
Like,
it was bad.
He was awful to her, and then prevented her from performing the song. He took all these measures to keep her from performing that song in certain instances, right?
Yeah, so
like he was a big asshole. It was her biggest hit. It still is her biggest hit.
She was supposed to return. She was supposed to perform it on Teen Choice Awards. This is the specific thing. It's kind of like what happened with Kesha and Dr. Luke. She wanted to perform it on the Teen Choice Awards, and he said no, because as the songwriter, and like, you get to basically clear when the song is performed. Like, you can just say no, essentially, which I didn't really know. And he said no, and she like went off on it, which, like, understandably or whatever. And he was already dating, like, he was on to his next one. He was dating what's her name?
I don't know who
Ellie
he dated
Goulding.
between
He was
Rita.
dating Ellie Goulding.
Oh God. Ugh.
Yeah, and then he dated Taylor, which is interesting because Taylor and Ellie Goulding are friends, but I guess they're not really that close anymore.
You know who Ellie Goulding might be dating right now?
Who?
Prince Harry.
What?
That's the rumor. Yeah.
That's a good rumor.
That's a good rumor.
Good
Also, what
rumor.
else is Rita Ora up to? Rita Ora is living for the fact that people are starting rumors that she's fucking Justin Bieber. So she fucking loves it. So is she dating Justin Bieber? Is she not? Who cares? The point is she's Snapchatting as Justin Bieber. She did a face swap on Snapchat with Justin Bieber, and that's it. And she just has Justin Bieber's face, and she captions it, "What I would look like with Justin's face, waves, waves."
Yeah, she did a few faces, and this was one of the faces, and I cracked up and took a screenshot.
It's great.
Yeah, I love it. She's living
having
for
so
this.
much fun.
Living for this, living for rumors that she's dating Dakota Johnson, which are still swirling. Still swirling. They're still swirling.
I love it. Oh my God, I'd love that.
What if they were? I mean, maybe they hooked up. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Very, it's a very sexually charged set.
Better than Calvin Harris, that's for sure.
That's true. So, Calvin Harris is bad. Rita Ora did date him. He was mean to her. Mm-hmm. She was probably impossible also. So I don't even need to place blame. And they broke up. And sorry, we didn't talk about that. It's important.
Sorry. That's it.
Yeah. Well, a few things at the
we got a few
end.
things to say.
Hopefully you stuck to the end because we have some good stuff today. Shout out to Racked. Did you read us on Racked this week, Bobby?
I did.
It's like you'd never know we were also amazing writers. Point being, shout out to Racked. Check us out on Racked. Check me out, I guess. This is a plug. I was on this week's episode of This Week Had Me Like with Caroline, who you heard on the show. She had me over to her wonderful place, and I had so much fun schooling the Who that I was on the show with. Like the
you schooled a Who. You really
schooled
a
Who.
Who.
I mean, the whole point of that show is that there is a noob and an expert. Clearly, I was the expert. The Who was a noob. But did you know that this Who? I texted this to Bobby because he's the only one who cares. He was on Under the Dome. He is a former soap star, dome head, dating a girl who's on a show with Zendaya. So clearly I had to like go in off the record with him on that. Mm-hmm. Point being, you can download and hear me tell him who Goldie Hawn is on this week's episode of This Week Had Me Like, and I hope you'll check it out. Mm-hmm. We have a birthday shout out. Happy birthday to Andrew Tolbert.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
Your boyfriend really loves you.
Fiance.
Your fiance really loves you so much that he emailed your favorite podcast and told us to shout you out, which, you know what? We love that.
Yeah, we love it. We love love.
We love love. So happy birthday, Andrew Tolbert. May your whoiest birthday dreams come true. Mm-hmm. Hope you're on a lip sync battle tonight.
I hope you have some famous friends to bring in.
Yeah, give a call. Cindy Crawford would love to come back.
And then don't forget to rate us on iTunes. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Yes. Thank you, Katie and Eric of the Who's, for the Rita theme song, as always. And be sure to call 619-WHO-THEM to ask us questions, and you will be hearing our new episode of Who's There on Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You will dream it.
Yo, they wanna know.
Hey, hey,
Come on.
hey. I want to be famous.
Jillian Hervey's mom is Vanessa Williams, who is former Miss America /actress / Save the Best for Last, which is what I just did.